Welcome back, everybody, to another Little Big Workshop stream. Joining me today is my colleague Felix.
Hey, everyone.
Also from QA. And a special guest we'll have today is Simon from Mirage Game Studios, who I think basically before we start, we'll just call him up right away on Skype, and he'll join us in a moment, hopefully. There you go. Good old Skype. Hi, Simon. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us today. We have a small update coming for a Little Big Workshop with a couple tweaks and changes, right? Yeah, basically we've listened to user feedback, and you guys went to work, and I guess we'll kind of show off the first things that we've got ready to go.
Yes. Should we
Sounds good. Okay, yeah. Let's jump right in.
Right.
Control 2. Perfect. And we'll simply, we'll just continue with our factory that you're already kind of familiar with if you've been around for the other streams. And we'll see how mostly the break rooms have changed, right? For now. Right. Right. Right.
Should we jump right to that?
Right.
Right, let's go to the break room UI first, right? Not the big one, just this one.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Let's do this.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This one.
Can we hold on a second? I've just been told that we people watching cannot actually hear you, Simon, on Skype. So let me have a quick look at why that is, because that's not good.
That's not this stream.
That's not how we intended this. Let me have a quick check on Skype over here. Well, that's what happens when you're live, right? Sometimes sometimes you mess up the settings. Okay, so we should have this, I think. Can you talk to us?
Hello, testing.
There we go. That's looking better. That's looking better. You might even be a bit too loud now, so I'll turn you down a little bit. All right. And I hope that should fix it, and we should be back.
Just let us know on stream if you.
Yeah, just let us know if you can hear Simon now. So, because that's kind of the whole point of this.
Kind of part of the deal to invite the devs so I can speak to people. Yeah.
Right. And if you can hear him, if is the volume okay? Is he too loud? Is he too quiet? It's okay. Okay. Good. So.
All right. Cool.
Sorry. Let's kind of start over again, right? So
nice to meet everyone. This is Simon from Mirage here. So cool to be with you, and fun to show off the new stuff we have going on here.
Awesome.
Right. So where were I? We were just talking about the brake system, basically.
That's where the brake recovery was where you left off.
Yeah. Cool. So just to reiterate, the breakpoints is the way we have breakpoints in this game. So whenever someone wants to take a break, they need a point of some kind. That could be a cup of coffee, or it could be a snack or something else. Mm-hmm. And in each break room, you can see sort of how many you have and how fast you get in the back, and how many people are actually having a break right now. and we looked at the UI and we looked at how could we make this a bit more clear so people can see and understand what's actually going on here, rather than just show, okay, you have 10 cups, enjoy it.
Right.
So yeah, we have increased and fixed that stuff a bit, and we also removed the cap for exactly 10 because that just seemed to confuse people, it seems. So yeah.
I remember that this also confused me to begin with. When I first played the game, I just put in like coffee machines like crazy, and
Same for me, yes.
and obviously you kind of stopped getting a bonus from that. So I guess that's a good change. Those.
Yes,
those
there's no max cap for breakpoints in a way. It looks like this is from a previous factory because you all have them on exactly 10.
Yeah.
Because you are German and efficient, I guess. So,
right.
So we build one more.
We have.
Well, yeah, if you look at the UI, you can see the recharge rates to the far left in each. And what you see now is you have 3 break rooms. So you have 3 different displays for them.
Right.
If you want, you can just look at one of them. And you'll see it at the top instead.
Right.
Cool. So on the far left, you have the recovery, which is how fast you're getting points back. In the middle, you have your current, sort of how many points you have right now, along with the max below it. And then to the right, you have the amount of people actually having a break right now.
Right.
And below that, you have how many people are walking like zombies towards the break room. Note here that the amount of people having a break is actually people who are actively resting, so to speak. So you might have people idling and just hanging out in there or even walking past.
Right.
So right now it just says 0 because no one needs a break right now. So that's good, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, we don't have a lot going on right now work-wise for these people, so
it's a good day in the factory then, I guess.
Yeah. For them it is, not for the company though.
Should we give them something to do?
Right.
It looks like you have a fair bit of cash on the bottom right there though, so should be
True.
good.
Yeah. We'll make it. We'll make it.
I'm sure you did not cheat in this version. Cool.
Have to make sure that we don't go bankrupt on stream, right?
Yeah, cool. And this is, I believe, sort of a bleeding edge version. So this is for internal use right now. We're hoping we could possibly push this later today. Otherwise, we're hoping to get it out tomorrow at least. So this is straight from development.
Good. That's good.
So now if I can chime in for a second, now you can see this one guy here resting, and at the top bar you can see the icon indicating that he's taking a break right now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the other ones are just idling at the moment.
Right, exactly. And also, if you look at the furniture and the little icons above them, you can, as before basically, but with the updated UI, you can see what bonus you get from which machine or from which piece of furniture, right?
Correct.
So
Exactly, and we're going by the coffee theme. So we have what's it called, like a cup of coffee for an actual break point, and then the what's it called, canister sort of thing you pour from.
Yeah.
I'm struggling for words here, but the big thing.
Right.
The coffee can.
The coffee
can.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's how fast can you fill up stuff with a can, and how many cups do you have?
Right. That's good. So maybe we could try to expand one of our smaller break rooms in the top right. I think we have one that we could simply, not
zoom out there. Just a small thing that could be cool to point out, which caused a bit of confusion earlier as well. If you look at the break machines down to the left there, where you were just a moment ago, just zoom back to the previous break room.
Yes,
you just missed him. Oh, actually, you can see there's 3 colors on the thing now. So a green, a red one, or yellow, red one-ish, and then black.
Right.
And there was a confusion we had earlier where technically we sort of book a mug when people are actually heading towards it. And this was a bit confusing for some players because they didn't understand what was going on, if it was sort of taken, wasn't taken, what's going on.
Right.
So there's actually a separate color for that now. So you can see this one is about to be taken as well.
Right.
So it makes it a bit more, there you see one, so someone's heading towards there now.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. So it kind of indicates that there is one cup of coffee still available, but it's already basically reserved for a worker, and nobody else can take it. So I guess what happened before, what confused people, was that workers did fall unconscious, although they seemed to have,
exactly, they were all green. So
left.
I mean, I have a point here. So what's wrong with the system? It's broken and so on. When we yeah, we were just lacking info. We won't tell them what's going on.
Right.
Now, don't ask me to explain how the coffee machines know it's about to be taken. That's just a gamey thing. That's just some magic going on here.
That is some that is just a smart factory overall.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I hope
Basically.
people can sort of buy that one. It's more of fun work than something people should get hung up on.
Right.
I think.
Right.
I also like the guy drinking with the gas mask on. That's also a cool feature.
Right. To everybody who's just joined in, we are speaking with Simon, who is located in Sweden, and that's why he's not with us on camera. So we're on a phone call with him. So it's not that he's shy. it's that he's physically not in the same room as we are, unfortunately. But,
I hope I'm beautiful enough for streaming one day. So I can
yeah,
join you guys.
I'm sure. One day,
Cool.
you'll be right here with us.
Yeah.
Excuses, they say.
Yeah.
Sweden's kind of far away from Germany. And
Yeah, it's all relative, I guess. But
yeah.
someday
Right.
I'll pop by and we can probably do a live stream or something.
That would be
fun.
good. That would be
We
good.
hope
That
so.
would be
We
good
hope
fun.
so.
Yeah, we'll do that. Right.
Should we expand this break room now?
Yeah, let's expand that smaller break room. I would say now that we've got all the coffee that we ever gonna need.
I'll just sit back and silently judge you guys then.
Right. That sounds good. We'll just tear down this wall and get these people their coffee. Right.
Yeah.
So for everybody now.
So just like that, we got a bigger break room.
Right. Let's
And
stuff this thing with coffee.
yeah, since I mean you can see that all the maximum points of all the break rooms are still at 10 because that's what it used to be before this update. So now we'll simply buy some more and see what happens.
Now we have 10, right?
Right.
So let's go for some more coffee in this room.
Yeah.
Maybe one right here. And another
And
vendor.
another vending machine. Right.
Right.
So that's gonna.
Now we're at 10.
Yeah. Now we should have. Well, we still have 10 because they're not here yet, but the maximum is now 17, as you can see.
Wow.
And there we go.
Ready?
Simple as that.
Cool. So this should lead to you could make. You're not forced to make these coupled break rooms like some people also
Right.
do in on streams, where they had like four tiny break rooms next to each other just to get around this mechanic.
Right. Right.
So you could make a larger one. But
Right.
there's
So
a detail here to point out with the break room system in general, and that's the guys still want some kind of variation in each break room. So they don't like if you just spam one thing, or if you have like 14 TVs, are not going to be as much fun as just one or two TVs.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
enough.
They're going to be bored by that TV.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's still a system going on where there's a negating effect for each new similar item you throw in there.
Yeah, you can
this
see
reminds
that.
sort of like how the decoration stuff works.
Right.
So it's kind of, you can see here probably, this is what you're talking about, is that this first TV here gives 2 regeneration, like 2 coffee cans, and the second one then only gives 1, like it's in every other room with decoration too.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't want to build like huge halls of break rooms or proper huge cafeterias and stuff. But it's still gonna be, you can build larger than it used to be, at least.
Right. And I mean, the bigger your factory gets, I guess the more break room you'll still want to have more than one break room because simply because it'll mean that your workers won't have to walk as far, right? To
Yeah,
get to
exactly.
that
I mean,
break room.
move
So that's
distance is still a big issue. Yeah.
right. That's still a thing. So yeah, well, but I guess that's a pretty good development.
Yeah, I hope
Makes
so,
it-
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it makes. I mean, I remember how I was kind of. I didn't kind of see through the entire break room mechanic when I first started playing. It took a while until I realized how everything worked. But yeah, I feel like this is gonna help, especially with the little icons and all the explanations. That sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty good.
Cool. Yeah.
Right.
In general, when it comes to the game, we try to we have to explain things in quite a lot of detail when you start off the game, so you get the
Right.
sort of basic of it.
Mhm.
But these things we're a bit reluctant to add like a proper tutorial step to explain each intricate detail in this game, and we're hoping this system is something we can just get by with having a better UI and having it present
Right,
a bit
yeah.
better when you're actually doing it, so you can
Yeah.
learn as you go.
Yeah, I feel like that should work out. It seems pretty. it seems like a pretty good change to me anyway.
Same for me. Yes.
I mean, I guess the main thing is that at first glance, the game doesn't seem to be as deep as it actually is mechanics wise, right? Everything's kind of pretty straightforward, right? And then the more you play it, the more you realize how in depth you can actually go with all the mechanics and all the optimizations. Not only in the break rooms, but obviously mostly in the production as well. So which is the core gameplay part, right?
Yeah. This was something we were hoping we could achieve with the game, where you could get into it quite quickly and get the basics. But then it would grow on you slowly. You would sort of see these small nuances and details pop up here and there. Where so this is how that works, or I could optimize this thing here, or this trick here I could do. And step by step you could learn more and unlock a new little neat feature and get the idea of stuff.
Yeah.
This works pretty well, yes.
I think that works pretty well. Yeah, it's easy to learn and hard to master, right?
Well, I would love to get that tag on the game in the end, but it's one of those things I try to not say myself, because it's everyone just throws that one around.
Yeah,
but
that's fair enough.
It would be great if people actually agree to that one.
Well, I mean,
I feel like we succeed if we get that.
Right. I mean, that's kind of how I see it anyway. But yeah.
All right.
Cool. Are there any other small changes with this update that's coming soon?
Lots of small tweaks and fixes. We are trying to be quite active on the forums and listen to feedback on what you guys or get hung up on, or if things you're struggling with. So a few of the gameplay things are, for instance, Nemesis calls aren't as frequent as they used to be. I mean, that's the Blood guy.
Blood is Blood is he's a bully.
He's quite intense. Yeah.
yeah.
So
he's into it.
We delayed the calls there quite a bit.
Right.
And there's some learning things. There's some help things. I'm just checking through the list here. But generally, there's a lot of bug fixes and small stuff we heard of since release that we just want to get rid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been three work days since release, so these are the quick and easy stuff, I guess.
Right. That's fair enough. I mean, obviously, us in QA, we tested this game quite thoroughly, but obviously, once it's released and a couple hundred, maybe even thousands of people play it, depending on what the game is, there's obviously gonna be some bugs that we will have missed, simply because it's just not possible to find everything in a game that's as complex as this as well. But I think,
you just placed the thing that has slightly changed as well, which was one of those feedbacks we got from watching streams, actually, where we saw how the carney plant is a cool decoration thing, but we noticed that people struggled to see how big that thing actually was, so they were expecting to place stuff next to it.
Right.
So we made it a bit more clear how much it's actually covering down the ground.
I see. Yeah, I actually I didn't notice that before, but now that you said it, the little roots are kind of dropping out of the pot, right?
Yeah, and it's exactly as big gameplay-wise as it used to be. But it's just that we changed the graphics a bit, so it's a bit more clear.
Right. Mechanically, it didn't change, only visually. It's more accurate now. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Right. I mean, since we already have you here, what kind of inspired you to make an ecosim like that? It's a specific choice, right? And I guess it's not exactly the easiest task, right?
I mean, this like many projects, it's changed a bit along the way since we started designing it. But from the first draft, the idea was quite basically to make factories fun, in a manner.
Right.
Speaking, I had been around much in factories and doing visualization and stuff, and I worked with engineering companies, and I was always struck by how there was a lot of cool stuff going on there, and they had lots of fun concepts, but they always struggled to actually present these in a fun way.
Right.
So a core idea behind the game and with this project was to actually take these things and make them a bit more accessible and make them entertaining. So we wanted to touch on challenges with logistics and management, and I wouldn't say economy that much.
Right.
But I mean practical issues with factories and how some of this stuff can be actually quite fun to play around with and try to solve. So that was the core thing behind it. And then comparing with other games, we really wanted to make a game in this genre that wasn't too difficult or hard to get into. So it would be like an accessible entry-level game to this genre, where you could hop in without that much of a knowledge before, and you could just learn as you go. Because these games, and I really like this genre myself, but they do tend to be quite heavy to get into, and there's a lot of front loading going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was what we wanted to do. We want to make an accessible, fun factory game and focus on the charm, focus on the theme, and just make it adorable, basically.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's also where the art style came from. Along the way. Not making it look too serious. It's kind of, it could kind of be set in the real world, right? With all, the products are all kind of, more or less realistic.
Yeah. I mean, it in the early prototypes and the early versions of the game, it did used to look quite a lot more, I wouldn't say realistic, but not as quite as quirky as this one is with the proper tabletop and stuff. We used to have where it just faded out into nothing, and it was a lot of more symbology going on with. Yeah, sure, the guys were cute, but they weren't gnome-like they are now.
Yeah, okay.
We weren't as extreme with the animations and stuff. But that's just something that grew on us as we did the project, and with dialogue with the publisher and some ideas, we eventually went for this thing, which we really like the end stuff. It's cool.
I think it turned out very good.
It did.
Yeah.
It's an adorable art style. These little gnomes running around your factory.
I really like the idea of them being set on a tabletop.
Yes.
That is like, I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way, right? Because you're playing on your PC. Your PC is set on your table usually, anyway, and it, it's got kind of this little model-esque, diorama-esque style going on. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
So we had this idea of it would be cool if it looked like a proper blueprint in the background, or it could be as if it's a visualization of a real factory. It's not real people. It's just symbols.
Right.
But I think someday someone just added like a coffee cup as a joke next to it, and then it sort of grew from there, where we just explored this and thought, this is kind of cool. We could. And the phone thing came along, and we really liked it.
I see. Yeah, that's a great idea. I really like it. Yeah, I actually, talking about the phone, I just got a question in chat. Saying who came up with the nemesis being a vampire and why, and also is the Swedish furniture store guy secretly a werewolf?
I can't speak to the Svecka representative. That's unknown to me.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have an update on the Halloween post. We'll see.
Okay, I see.
What was the other question? I dropped it already. Sorry.
Who came up with the nemesis being a vampire and why?
Yeah, I think this is all. Joel, our artist, I just told him, make like the most evil thing you can imagine.
Right.
It's gonna be a nemesis, and then that concept came along. Right. So yeah, all props to you.
Is it actually confirmed that Vlad is a vampire? Or
no.
Is he... Right? It's not.
That is an
assumption.
Suspected.
That is an assumption. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if you look at his sub companies, it's there may be something there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the signs are there, but yeah. Right.
Just to answer another question in chat that I just read, there is a coffee counter now. This is going to be in the new update, where there is an easier way for you to access, the coffee, the break room concept in general. You're now going to have, you're going to see how many breaks you have left, how they are going to recharge, which workers are going to take a break. So this is something that the devs looked into when they read your forum posts. So.
Right, yeah, basically all the feedback that we got through all the different outlets, Steam reviews, social media, our support pages as well. Basically we sort of looked at what the community had to say, and obviously Mirage Game Studios mostly looked at what the community had to say, and they immediately basically went to work to improve upon the constructive criticism that we got. So that's always super helpful to point out what you like and what you think could be improved with a game. You know, that's always pretty helpful. Not only
I mean,
for
I would encourage it as much as possible.
definitely.
I mean, go on the forums, post the stuff you think about,
Right.
stuff you get annoyed by. It's just all
Right.
good.
Exactly. If you don't
Won't
like
take
something,
it personally. It's okay. Just
Yeah,
write
right.
to us, tell us, tell us what you think and what you like and what you don't like. It's always good to get feedback.
Exactly. And you know, we live in a time where it's not, you know, like it used to be, where a game is released and then that's what you get. And you know, with the use of Steam and the World Wide Web, we have the abilities to update everything and, you know, tweak things, fix bugs that we might have missed in QA and all that good stuff. So there he is.
There he is.
There he is. Well, you know, I mean, he does have kind of a vampire-esque style going on, but
Yeah,
I don't see any fangs, so
No.
I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that he's a vampire.
No.
Not yet.
Me neither.
Cool.
He does have...
One thing I want to mention on the break room stuff as well.
Right.
This is the first pass we do on that system. I'm sure we're going to return to it in some way later on and possibly add something more to it or make some more adjustments. So, I mean, this is the first thing we do with that one. Next up, we're probably going to look at the construction tools. Make sure those are polished and improved, so you guys start liking those more as well.
Right.
So it's not like we're dropping these forever now and then we made the first one.
Of course. Right. Yeah. So you do have more things planned that will be coming up at some point in the future.
Yeah, we'd love to share more stuff with you. We just want to get stuff sorted out internally so we can figure out exactly what we're gonna do and
of course, that makes
avoid
sense.
promising too much to the community and those classics.
Of course.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna look at the break room system, and there are a few threads on the forums which are getting lots of replies on. Okay. So we're probably going to look at those too as well and see what we can do with, naming stuff and so on.
Right.
I mean, naming workers, sorry.
That makes sense. Yeah, you know, obviously, again, you know, all the feedback that is kind of accumulated through all the outlets is being taken into consideration, and we will, you know, improve on what's already kind of awesome. Right. Do we have any more questions? And we have another Blad question though. Was the character design that people are really interested in Blad? I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? He is kind of omnipresent in this game, right? He is always there and he's always bugging you. The question is, was the character design at least partially inspired by the Count from Sesame Street, though?
I mean, I suspect he was. I can't confirm this.
Right. Right. It's
probably
an ongoing.
Into legal trouble if he was, and I knew about it. I honestly don't know.
It's an ongoing investigation. We don't know.
Yeah. I'll get back to you.
Right.
I guess they tried.
Maybe we can invite Ewell someday, and he can have a proper talk about some of the art stuff, and Tob as well, so he can speak about inspiration and where they got this stuff from, and so.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually. I mean, we'll definitely have more of these little kind of co-streams going on with with either you, Simon, or one of your team members, right? So just keep asking, keep posting in the forums, keep sending us your reviews, your criticism, and all that good stuff, and we'll see what happens, and maybe we can present kind of a roadmap in the future, once we're...
I mean, whenever I mention a roadmap, half the team gets nervous, but
right.
Sure we're gonna post some stuff where we can...
Right.
This is stuff we're planning to work on, and we're gonna do something with it.
Exactly. That's a good start, I would say.
I mean, I think a lot of people are sort of burned themselves early on by promising too much early. Where we're going to work on this thing, we're going to work on that thing, and then something screws up or gets delayed.
Of course, you don't.
I'd rather just be, under promise, over deliver, preferably. So.
Right. Yeah. That I absolutely am with you on that one. But the important thing is you guys are at work on this game still, so updates will follow.
Yeah, for sure.
On social media, and again, we'll definitely have another short stream sooner or later. Probably sooner rather than later.
Yeah, most likely, yes.
Yeah. That's cool. Right. I think I don't know. Is there anything else we want to touch upon? You wanna tell us about?
I mean, I would love to brag about some of the bugs the guys managed to fix already, but
Right.
I think I can just link to the patch notes when it pops up later on. I'm
Fair
not sure if it's
enough.
going to be today or tomorrow, but it's fairly soon.
Fair enough. So you will release the patch notes along with the update on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So people will have access on it, access to it on Steam probably, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
I
that's
mean,
good.
we could look at the patch notes already, and I've read
Yeah.
about some very funny bugs that seem to have occurred to some people.
True.
out
Yeah.
there,
That's most of them actually bugs that I've never seen before
No, me
personally.
neither. No.
And I've played this game for quite a bit, but again, obviously, once there are so many people playing it all over the world, they'll have things happen to them that we never knew about. So your feedback, your bug reports as well, are super important, and we are taking them seriously, and we're working on that. So yeah, keep us up to date with what's going on. Right.
Right, cool.
We're quickly building some.
There's a suggestion for
There's a suggestion?
indoor object.
Oh right, yeah. Decorations. People are asking for more decorative objects. What about an indoor aquarium? I mean, I think that sounds kind of cool, but it also sounds like it also sounds
Sounds like something you really want in a factory environment. Lots of water up
exactly.
high. I mean,
Exactly.
genius.
I'm not sure if those fish would be super happy being put like right next to a forge or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, safety standards are out the window already, so you might as well throw some water in there.
I guess that's true. I mean, that big carnivorous plant is kind of an environmental hazard already, isn't it?
I mean, he's nice.
He's
to people.
tame. He's tame.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No eaten workers have been reported yet.
No, that
So-
might be something for like a sequel where we have a countdown for days since the last time someone was eaten.
Right. Right. That will be the battle royale mode.
Yeah. Then we're multiplayer and VR on top of
Right.
that. Yeah.
Okay. I see. Okay. That's obviously. I mean, that we are being sarcastic here, just to be very clear.
Yeah, sure.
There's not gonna be there are no plans for there ever being a battle royale mode. Yet.
Or are they?
But or are there? We don't know. Right. Okay. Great.
Cool. Well, anyone else in chat have any questions? Just fire it off, or
Yeah.
if you see this afterwards, just hop on the forums or send us a message, and we'll
Right.
get back to you probably.
Right.
We
Tag.
try to answer as much as we can on the forums, but it's picking up speed now. So
Yeah.
I try to hop in there as
Definitely.
often as I can to help out
Definitely.
and answer stuff.
Definitely. Also, you've got all the possible outlets. Write us an email at support@handygames.com.
Yeah, bug reports they have. Mirage has their own actually email you can send your bug reports to. I think, so they can look into these right
and,
away.
Yeah, I think the best thing is to hop on the forums first and see if
Yes.
someone else has
Right.
done it.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, chances are that somebody else has had the same issue than you have. So yeah, simply hop on the forum, see if there's any solutions maybe already, or people have already suggested things. Other than that, Twitter, Facebook, the forums, Steam, obviously, Steam forums, all that good stuff.
I mean,
Let us know.
I've even received bug reports on Twitch, which is not ideal. But I mean, whenever you have us in touch, then just write what you think. That's good.
Exactly. But yeah, let us know what's going on and what you would like to see in the future, and we'll all see what we can do together.
Cool.
Perfect. All right. I think I'm not getting any more questions right now. I myself don't have any left.
I have one question left, which I came along the way. So, is there any ratio from workers to needed coffee breaks? Like, is there some rule of thumb that you should go by for your best experience of your factory workers?
I'm sure there's going to be like tips and guides coming up from the community, but that's a hard thing to answer because it depends a lot on how you play and how nice you are to your workers in the rooms and so on. Because this is dependent on what workers you have and how
Right.
good of a move or a groove you have going on in each room.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on how you design your factory. And a part of the challenge is to keep track of this and see how much coffee and breakpoints do I have spare right now, and does it
Right.
match up and so on.
Right.
Which you now can do with the new UI much easier than you could before.
So
So.
it's much easier to track now, at least, so you can see what's going on.
That's for sure. So can you generally say that the nicer room is, the better the room mood is, the less breaks the workers are gonna need?
Yeah, that's a part of the mechanic.
Okay,
So if you got a bad mood going on, they will take breaks more often because you depress them and they don't like it, so they're gonna take more breaks.
Yeah.
And on the
that's
opposite
fair
end,
enough.
if they really like it, they're gonna hang out for longer and they aren't gonna be as bothered by it.
I see.
So that's one of the sort of small comments and dialogues popping up here and there is the sort of yin yang symbol where they thumb up and thumb down. They sort of let you know this room is nice, this one is horrible, and there's also the lens in the corner where you can view it like you do right now with the full coloring.
Okay.
And this one is actually quite fun. There's lots of green going on here, so that's good.
Yeah, this is a good factory so far. I mean, Felix just placed a bunch of decorations, like secretly kept spending all our funds on decorations. So it seems to be a factory that's in pretty good state. I mean,
while on the subject, one of the small tweaks we did was we adjusted how much of a penalty you get from what I call a red room was a horrible room. So it's not quite as punishing as it was before. There were quite a few streams where we could see absolute pandemonium going on with people just falling all over the place. So we toned that down a little, so it's not quite as horrible as it used to be.
Okay. I guess we should maybe try to. Well, we're already building some stuff. I see that we're not super far ahead on our bicycle delivery. Like we are in the green, but it's gonna be close, right? It's gonna be clutch at the end. Do you have any more tips or tricks that you know of that we could further kind of improve on our production line?
Well, one thing I could point out, which is sort of almost hidden feature, which can help people track what's going on or what's possibly being locked up here, because it seems like this station is waiting for something specific. So if you right click on I think it's an assembly bench with a bike, I guess. And you bring up the queue. This is going to be a bit funny because I'm on a delay here. So
yeah.
but if you click on the just hover or click on one of the parts for one of those bikes, then you should be using the tracking tool, and that's where if you click on one of them, you can see where in the factory these are coming from, and possibly track what's going on or why isn't it showing up and so on.
Right. So you get that little icon up in the upper right part of the. Actually,
behind the logo, yeah.
Right. Actually, behind the logo that says Little Big Workshop, there is a small.
Just one thing worth mentioning at least. So there is a tracking tool.
We'll show it real quick. We'll just turn off the overlay real quick, and up here you can see that little icon. And if you
looks
click
like they
on
just finished those. That might be hard to actually see, I guess.
Yeah, and well, it is now finished. Yeah, so obviously we're not waiting on it anymore. But maybe we can find another workstation that's waiting on something.
Can change for the barbecue.
Yeah,
maybe. That takes more time.
Well, this workstation seems to be.
Okay, we'll grab something.
The basket, isn't it? The basket's yellow. That means it's being delivered, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the way.
Okay, and then when it's gray, that means that it's still waiting for it.
I think.
Okay, so we'll click on that.
I honestly can't recall all the coloring.
Right, yeah.
By heart.
We can try it.
It's a big game.
And see where it is. So maybe we don't.
Possibly turn off the lens as well. Might be some.
Oh yeah,
easier.
okay. That
sorry.
one. Yeah. We still have the lens going on. Oh no, it's being highlighted actually. I saw it being highlighted, I think. There it is. He's got it.
Oh.
Do you see that? Yeah. Just zoom in on him. So we do have them. They just needed to pick them up from storage. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But
I
you can
remember,
see,
I
we
think
can
the
see that
machine
the
should
item is
be
actually
popping or
highlighted.
something as well, but that might be something else I thought of.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's
probably.
a tracking tool at least, so you can use that
Exactly,
one
yeah.
and get some help from it when you
Yeah, so you can
struggle with the
basically.
bottleneck or what's going on. Why are
Right.
the guys waiting when I have stuff that should be done
Right.
and so on.
So you can kind of figure out what takes too long in your
Yeah.
production line by
Yes.
yourself, and obviously because every factory is going to be a lot different from each other. Changing. If we improve on our production line, that might not be the same improvement that you need on your production line in your own factory, right? Because your whole setup will be different probably.
Yeah. And this is quite challenging when we try to help guys who comes into the forums with, okay, my factory is stuck. What's wrong? And it's going to be
Yeah.
So
That-
where do we start? What have you?
Yeah.
Could you give us a picture? What's going on here?
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah, we had issues with that as well when we were testing the game, when we were play testing it. We had this one bug where that I remember where I was building the race cars, and one part was just missing. Like they wouldn't finish the race cars, and we couldn't find out where the part was. That's when you told me about the tracking tool that was already in the game back then, and we could not find that missing part. It was super weird, and then. But somehow you guys fixed it anyway. I don't even know. Do you remember which bug I mean?
I mean the last product missing has been a thing that's been around for a while, and it's usually a symptom of something else.
Oh, okay, right. Because I was thinking for the longest time that maybe somebody, that's when the game was very new still to me, and I wasn't sure if maybe sometimes they slip, for example, and they drop their stuff that they're carrying. So
yeah, that might have been one of them as well. That was a hellish one where they accidentally dropped stuff behind other things in corners.
Oh yeah.
So
right.
we had to add like a UI that detected that thing, so it could. Okay, there's an isolated thing here. You have to do something about it. So that's actually in the game now. Yeah, we had some really weird cases where, I mean, what are the odds of someone tripping, falling, and then dropping it in the corner behind a plant? But it could have.
Right, and Carney Plant is a nice guy, but he will protect what's his.
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
And once you give him a shiny, he's gonna hold on to it.
He's gonna keep it.
He's gonna defend it. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed happened. Maybe like them dropping things out of bounds and then not being able to finish the queue. But with as you guys worked on it, I got an update and they simply finished the race cars at some point. I don't even know. I can't say for sure what the problem was, but that was a bug that I can remember. That was in the game back then.
Well, one thing, final thing I could mention now that we're talking about fun bugs and stuff, I'm getting a few reports on where people trip and they drop something and it flies outside the factory.
Right.
This is something we just find so funny that we don't want to change it because we just like the idea that they throw it outside by accident.
They just throw it right through the wall.
Yeah. I don't think it's such a limitation for the guys to fix that one, so it's always dropping indoors. So I would just encourage people to get at least one back door in case they start running around the whole thing to grab that piece of wood or whatever's going on.
Okay, that's noted. Always get a back door. That's a good rule for life in general.
Yeah, I guess.
You always want a plan B, right?
Yeah.
Probably. It looks like we're kind of messing up on the bicycle challenge again.
Yeah,
again.
Well, we could.
I mean, it could be because you shuffled it up and down to test something.
Yeah, I guess. That probably didn't help. That's true.
What we could mention here is the possibility to batch stuff. I think you talked about it in one of the first streams or something, but this helps you to at least reach parts of the goal. So if I would have batched this right here, we probably would have finished like 5 out of 7 bicycles. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And we would have at least gotten some of the money. And I think we also don't lose that much of the client relationship. Am I right on this one?
Do you still get paid for the stuff you actually finish? So that's always better than not getting paid at all, which you might end up with here.
I don't think. If I remember correctly, I don't think you can actually lose client relationship, right?
No,
It just
we are really friendly like that. We just
right. It just
you
doesn't
don't get
change
any
then.
XP and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
That
I'm
yeah.
learning something new too here.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, I've played this game for like 100 hours, and I'm still learning things every day. You know, as I said, it goes a lot. It gets a lot deeper than it looks at first when when you first start it up. Right.
Should we spend some skill points maybe?
Let's spend some skill points. Why not?
What do you think is a good?
Right,
good
that's
skill
something
to
we haven't
have?
even shown yet. The research and development part 2, right? Mass production versus premium. How did that kind of? How did you kind of? Where did that idea come from? And
Maybe this whole part of the R&D thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
and you know,
we like the idea of having profiles or at least sort of trends or characteristics you could do for your factories. So, I mean, mass production and premium production are two sort of staples where it's different ways of producing things.
yeah,
We thought it would be cool to not just have general upgrades, which are they're all good for you. Here we could
right,
have stuff that's a bit more specialized and would fit for you depending on what you're actually doing. Rather
right,
more than just materials and stuff. So
right,
if you like to make lots of basic products and just crank out as much as possible, there's a tree for that.
right,
And on the premium side, it's more complex, advanced things, and there are a couple of cool bonuses there which fits that theme.
right.
Yep.
That's
So and yeah, you mentioned unlock abilities in here too, so you can momentarily throw out a boost and so on. So yeah, fun stuff in there.
right. Yeah, definitely. That's something we haven't even shown yet on stream because well, we simply weren't that far into the game yet. But I'm sure we will in the future.
Yep,
We'll
yep.
have a longer, actual gameplay stream. And yeah, I don't know if is there anything else we want to talk about. I think.
Maybe touch on the technicians for a second because I've seen.
Oh
some,
yeah.
some
There's a
people-
lot of questions concerning repairing the stations.
Yeah, correct. I've seen some people asking about a way to automatically repair stuff,
Yeah,
which is in the game.
that is the
It's
thing.
part
Yeah,
of the premium skill tree if you want.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
there is a way to specialize your workers
yeah.
so they just go around to repair your factory, which is a quality of life thing to have. in a factory.
Absolutely. Automation is worth a lot. Let's actually buy some upgrades from the premium tree so we can hopefully finally get that bicycle challenge done
Appreciate this.
somehow.
Yeah, one thing to note on the technician guys are it could be really annoying if they walked around and repaired things just at will. So they will only repair stuff that's not busy at the moment. So they're not going to interrupt your queues to sneak in a repair or something. But they will walk around and always repair stuff that's not busy with anything at the moment.
Right.
So
okay.
usually you get small pauses here and there, and that's when they show up and just tinker around and fix stuff. So if you are really good at playing this game and you keep everything busy all the time, it might look like the technicians aren't really doing anything. But they are still there and they sneak it in now and then. And even if you manually order repairs in this game,
Yeah.
the technicians are much better at doing them. So they're still
Right.
worth getting. So that's just another detail for the technicians and how they work.
And the other thing is maybe the super haulers. Could you kind of explain a little bit how those work exactly?
Not from heart, but they are actually super haulers. I can't recall exactly what the difference is beyond
we-
just running really
if we
fast
look
and
at-
then
yeah, they're
being good at hauling. I think there's something about them acting different with heavy stuff, but I'll have to check on that.
right.
Not sure.
I mean, I would think that they are they're just basically haulers, only a lot faster.
Probably.
I mean, if you get one, you'll see quite a difference in how fast they run and so on.
Right.
So,
Right. And they're already
you start scaling up the size and things.
right, and that something worth mentioning is that the haulers are already a lot faster at hauling than, I mean, hence the name.
Yeah, super
than,
haulers. You might
than
have
the
guessed
regular
it.
workers. So you can kind of imagine, I guess, what the super haulers are capable of. Great. Right. So yeah, I don't know. Do you have any
Is there
more
anything else to
questions?
talk about? I'm thinking
More
about
ideas?
it. I mean, there's just some basic concepts but you mentioned them already. Like if you construct bigger rooms, you might need more decoration.
Yeah, there's
Which
there's a malice on
which
having
then
bigger
correlates
rooms.
with your break time again, which brings us back to the clear way of your workers take break now that we have.
Yeah. That's actually something I didn't notice at the beginning when I first played the game. Is that bigger rooms are actually they have already like from the get go get a worse mood attribute than smaller rooms. So that's always something to keep in mind, I guess.
Yeah. And you should be able to see it when you're actually constructing the room as well. And if you turn on the lens, I think you can see the color as you're building too. I'll have to check that though.
Maybe okay. We
could actually it's an easy check right away if you have cash, which I see you do have.
We'll just buy a small
ridiculous
plot.
amounts of.
I mean, if we if we botch any more bicycle deliveries, we're gonna need all that back
I
money.
mean, it's 750k almost, so you should be fine. Yeah, should be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the lens is on now, so if you build something really small here, just
Very small.
that's quite huge.
There you go. That's very small. Yeah, you can already see that. Well, you don't get the color, but you can already tell the mood of the room even before it's being built.
So
this
if you make
will have
you should be able to see it. Yeah.
Right. So if you now make it super big, you'll probably see the. There you go. Huge room, -50.
Yeah.
Right,
So you do get a warning before you approve the thing, but it's a small detail and possibly could be a lot more clear, I guess. But it's one of those things that's not super important to begin in because you're not going to build huge rooms anyway.
Right. You're not going to build super huge rooms, and yeah. Well, I kind of lost my first playthrough. I kind of went bankrupt because I the first I did. Like within, well, I mean, I don't know. It didn't take too long. But what happened was I kind of for my first before the real testing started, right? I did kind of a casual sort of play through. I mean, you can't really play through the game in that sense, but I just played the game for a bit basically. And what I did was, like, I said to myself, hey, a really good idea would be having a super big room with a lot of basic assembly stations and woodworking benches. That's gonna take a lot of workload off of my workers. But yeah, what happened basically was, and the game even tells you this. That's just me, kind of being silly and skipping the little tutorial pop-ups at the beginning. Not the tutorial itself, but the little, even after the tutorial is finished, you get these little notifications by the game.
Yeah, little hints we call them, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, little hints that tell you what might be a good or a bad idea. And I tend to skip this as a player, so I...
you're not alone, I can tell you this. I mean... Instructions are for cowards apparently, because there's a lot of people just skipping whenever there's a text, and I get that, I guess. It's just a way of playing.
And what happened to me was I built this super huge room with a lot of basic woodworking benches in it, and obviously that's not the way to go. You want to specialize, I guess, or in some way specialize at least, with the advanced machinery as soon as you can, because that's just so much quicker. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's something to learn all the time. And we'll keep updating the game. We'll keep updating you guys with another stream soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
And until then, I would say we'll call it a day for now. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
Really great fun time chatting with you guys. And
absolutely.
To anyone watching us,
it was very
keep on posting, keep letting us know what you think, and it's great to see people enjoy and play the game. It's just so fun for us right now to see people play this thing.
Absolutely, and I think for all of us, us testers as well as the community, I think it's a very, very cool thing to get kind of a behind the scenes look, even if it's just a chat with you basically telling us what happened and what's going on. So that's pretty cool. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and the community.
Yep.
And I would say have a great rest of your day, and we'll try to get some work done.
Yes.
And update the game as soon as possible and as frequently as possible, right?
Yeah, back to the fronts for me then. I'll see how the patch is coming along.
Exactly.
Jump right back into those forums and
Yeah,
keep the
Yeah,
guys
yeah. Cool,
posted.
cool.
And
Well,
checking
nice
and
chatting
stuff.
with you guys, and
Absolutely.
yeah, I'll speak with you in the future.
Right.
We
We'll
will.
do
Take
that.
care.
Thank you so much. Have a great
you.
evening.
Same to you. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye. Perfect. And with this, right, there we go. I would say it's time for us to call it a day as well.
Get back to testing.
Get back to testing. Get back.
So
get
you
back
guys can have this new version of Little Workshop.
Yeah, obviously, you know, we're gonna have to test it before it actually goes live. That's just part of the workflow, right? So in case something gets messed up horribly, you know, you don't lose all your save games and that kind of stuff, because that's not fun. So we're looking into that, but it seems to be working pretty well. I mean, we didn't lose our factory, so
Should be working out for
hopefully
you too.
hopefully it should be out soon. As Simon said, hopefully today. If not, then tomorrow.
Yes. Probably.
Right. Cool. Yeah. I want to quickly shout out Razer for providing us with all this amazing gear that really helped us put this stream together.
Yes.
And obviously, again, shout out to the Mirage Game Studios in Sweden who've made this wonderful game, Little Big Workshop.
And take the time to chat with the community.
Yeah, and Simon,
us.
who took almost an hour out of his day. You know, he's busy obviously with the game, right?
It's gonna mean 1 more hour this evening, probably.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, big thank you for taking this time to talk to us, and yeah, I would say we'll see you next time. There will be another stream soon. You know where to find us. YouTube, Twitter, not Twitter, YouTube. We don't stream on Twitter. I'm sorry,
do
but
stream on
you can reach us on Twitter as well.
Yes.
Only not, we're not going to be streaming on there. But do tweet at us if you have any questions or suggestions. Yeah.
Hop in those forums, as Simon said. Check
Yeah,
for
hop into those
existing
forums.
ones,
Share your
support new
experiences, share your ideas, and we'll try to make it happen. And yeah. Until next time.
ones. See you around.
Thank you all so much. Take care.